You're listening to From a Certain Point of Skew, the only Star Wars podcast to hate watch the Star Wars hashtags and its creators more aggressively than they do the series they pretend to look forward to in the first place. That was long-winded. I am Jason the Ginger Jedi Guy. I'm inside Wookiee Poo Studios. It has changed. You don't care. We'll move on. Neighbor Cole, how are you doing?
No, I want to plant on that. For
you
a
do
while.
you? Okay.
I want to park on that. Put her in the parking lot. But first, we hate watching Star Wars hashtags now, or is that something you're doing?
I do.
On your own?
Like I just watch these people. Like it's like they say they're fans of Star Wars, but it's like every time something new comes out, all they do is shit on it.
Yeah.
You know, and then they're like they got this legion they're building, and sometimes I look at like the shit they're dogging, and I'm like, it's the dumbest complaints in the world. Like you can find a hole in anything, right? Like whatever you like. There's not a perfect film or book, very rarely. But everyone is just like, oh, I would have done this, or this could have happened, or why didn't they do this or this? And I'm like, why don't you just fucking take the story and move on?
As we've talked about before, the original trilogy, lots of holes.
Yeah, yeah.
We let it go though.
I like the holes are always taken as seeds for later, right? Someone always takes that as like, oh, there's a plot point. Let's go off of that. Like 40 years of content, and you can find shit from Return of the Jedi that someone's shitting on, and then 20 years later, it's like the biggest thing. Oh my God, So
I'm just going to start hammering bungs into these holes. Wine reference.
What? Oh. I was like, what's a bung?
You guys don't know what a bung is?
No.
No one?
I want to camp on that for a minute.
It's the cork that goes into the fucking wine casket. It's
Why do they call it a
bung.
bung? Oh, okay.
That's where you get bunghole from.
Bunghole
Really?
from that?
Wow, we're learning new things. I could go for a glass of wine right now.
I have no idea if that's accurate or not, but I figure this is the show to try it out on.
Yeah.
You were recently watching the Beavis and Butthead trailer, right?
That just popped up on my phone.
There
to
you
be
go.
honest
There's
with
your
you.
bunghole.
Yeah. Yeah, well, this is a Star Wars podcast, believe it or not.
Yeah.
But Jason, thanks for having me down in the remodeled studio. A little bit more cramped. We
Yeah.
got another youngling in the basement with us, but
We went from half a basement to recording in the size of an elevator shaft.
agoraphobic.
Real wedged in here.
Yeah, Wedge Antilles.
Mm-hmm. It's like the compactor in A New Hope. The walls are closing in on us.
That's right. We need some sort of, what are those stupid things that you prop up against the wall? We spotted them in the episodes.
The big ass bar that was used for, what was it? Was it Mandalorian? What did they use that in?
I think it was
different.
in The Mandalorian. I think, wasn't it in Pelimoto's shop or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
This where they were using it to build the Starfighter.
Did we see it in this episode too, where he was fighting around the bridge with it? Was that one of those?
No, I don't
probably
think so.
Anyways, we have a third micer coming in hot from the Skype
We do.
slash
And he's already talking.
hyperspace lines. He spoke out of turn, but that's nothing new for him. But he is our favorite third micer.
I don't know. I have to say, after watching this episode, I think he's unfit to wear the dark cloaks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because like after Vader put hand to fucking ground and created an earthquake, his old lady's like, why can't you do that with me? Oh.
We'll delve into that a little bit later in the show. But welcome. I'm trying to get him introduced here.
I know.
Welcome to the show, Mart/Matt/Darth Matthews.
Mm-hmm.
Hello there.
Hello there.
Back to your comment at the top there, Jay. I think that one of those things that happens is you don't have to blindly love everything they're giving us. Of course, there's things to pick apart.
Mm-hmm.
There's things that we make fun of, and I think that's the approach that we like to take. Is instead of just completely destroying something for a flaw here and there, we just make fun of it and say that was kind of stupid or that was kind of silly, and then move on. 'Cause
Right.
We enjoyed the vast majority of the story.
Yes.
So yeah, you get people who are just griping about every little thing and how it ruins something from their childhood. And then you get people also who are like, it was 100% perfect. It's like, well, it probably wasn't 100% perfect. But yes, it was pretty damn good.
Or just like get your gripes out and then move on and give the next one a chance. Like I hated
Yeah.
fucking Boba Fett.
Right.
But guess what? Spoiler alert, I fucking loved Kenobi. This was
Yeah.
great. Like some of it's hit, some of it's miss. It just depends. But it didn't ruin Star Wars for me.
Well, there's so many people that are in the Disney camp or they're not in it. Like ever since Star Wars was bought from Disney, it's all been shit except for Rogue One. Boy, that is
Rogue One gets pretty universal acclaim, which I mean, I'm down for it. I loved Rogue One. That's one of my favorites.
It's a great film, but it's hard for me to watch because to me it's not a Star Wars film. Like it is, but like there's no Jedis, there's no lightsabers.
Yeah.
See, but I'm okay with that. And that's what I think we're going to see more of with Andor.
I know.
Is it's going to
Watch
be...
me just shit on every episode of that show because I'm just so fucking, where's my Jedi? I need a robe.
12 episodes
Where's the
coming.
lightsaber?
Yeah.
You didn't have some sort of like huge diabolical Death Star that was blown up based off of an exhaust port.
In that movie.
That's probably what you're missing.
Yeah. I do like my holes invaded.
Your bung holes.
Right back to it.
Full circle.
Well, if you would like to find our Star Wars podcast, it is at FromACertainPointOfSkew.com, and you can reach out to us on Twitter at FACPAPod, and please email the show. We did get a couple this week, FACPAPod@gmail.com, and we are part of the Podawans Podcast Network at Podawans. This is the kind of end run for the giveaway. No, I have still not tallied up points.
Really?
I'm going to do it, I swear.
Well, we were saving this episode for more points, right? So
Yes.
we've got another week.
They have until at least, because I think what's going to happen is we're probably not going to record another episode potentially for a couple weeks.
Okay.
Just based on vacation and different things and
Yeah.
the fact that the series is over. They're probably going to spring a gallery on us at some point, I would think, but they haven't announced it yet, so I don't know when that'll come, but we'll definitely cover that. Either way, tell a friend about the show, get a couple entries, write a review, get a couple entries, quote tweet our episodes or our episode posts on Twitter, get an entry, and you have a chance to win the Kenobi hilt, which is beautiful, not built yet, so I can't really post a lot of pictures of it. All it is just like a little mock-up that Dave sent me. It's not the most enticing thing in the world. So
Okay.
trust me, it's going to be wonderful.
Yeah. So if you want a chance at winning that, you got to get your entries in. This is this week, maybe next will be the last ones, and
We're not even asking for you to pay shipping and handling.
right.
No.
All you got to do is email the show. Listen, tell a friend.
Yeah. We're
Keep
trying to
growing
blow our
this
money
show.
here. We're trying
Yeah.
to blow our money. This guy's trying to build a new studio, and we're still giving
Right.
away hilts.
Yeah. We're going to have to throw some exclusive content on the website here real soon.
There you go.
Start up our OnlyFans.
Can't get him to fucking sign in to win a thing, but we're going to look for $10 from you a month.
Oh, start an OnlyFans? A FACPA OnlyFans? That would
Oh,
be
yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
The Arthurian historian is just fucking chomping at the gills, I guess, right now.
Hey, how's the Podawans Network working out for everybody? I don't hear much about that.
Well, a couple of the shows are kind of on hiatus.
Oh.
But Clonecast is going strong. They've moved on to covering Rebels. They also do Kenobi reviews as they come out. And then Jar Jar Thinks is back. That's a great show with the gals from Jar Jar Thinks.
Yep.
They started putting out episodes recently again. So, yeah, I mean, it's still living on, but we haven't had a chance to do any other crossover shit because I think nobody's got the time, you know?
I'm subscribed to all of them, I think. I just never remember to put them on my playlist to listen to them.
Yeah, it's great. They're great shows. You should definitely, and for anybody else out there who doesn't know those shows, definitely go check them out. They're awesome.
You know what? I'm going to do Jar Jar Thinks next. I'm going to come back next week, and I'll do a full review.
All right.
Oh, I'm looking forward
2
to that.
episodes. And
Write them a review on iTunes.
I need 7 minutes.
Share the love.
I need 7 minutes on air
7 minutes in heaven.
from both of
As
you.
Jar Jar thinks. All right, on the show today, we got a question of the week. We're going to explore new characters. We've got some news. Episode 11, Cal Kestis. How do you say his name? Cal Kestis?
Yep, you got it.
Kestis. All right, I say everything wrong, so I'm surprised. Live action rumors. We'll see. Kenobi episode 6 review. That's the big thing we're going to be discussing. And then after that, we've got 2 emails in the Maul Bag. First up, though, of course, is the question of the week. Take it away.
Cole, you want to read this? This is from Mike Laybourne.
Sure.
Laybourne!
Had to throw that in there at the end there.
So, the news. Go ahead.
With several new characters introduced in Kenobi, who would you like to see get their own content, be it a show, book, or comic? Options.
I listed some of the new names in case
Right.
we were like, who are these people? These new people we forget names of.
Options below, but are not limited to Reva, Lola, Lola getting her own show. Okay. Corin Horn. I don't even know who the fuck that is. Roken and Haja. Haja.
Who is Corin Horn?
That's the young kid that's saved by Haja, him and his mom, and then you see him again in the freighter ship sitting on the. I think that's who Leia's got Lola out playing with the kid and the mom.
Cheering him up.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, that's him?
Yeah. He's a young kid, but he ends up and in the books, right? Brian Auer will write and correct us, but in the books, once he's on Corellia, later in life he becomes an X-wing pilot, and then becomes a Jedi, has the Force. There's been an awakening, I guess.
Well,
So
actually,
he's
No,
a
I'm just
famous. I guess he's a famous like Legends character, and they threw him in this. So they're seeding these new things, right? So I was thinking, I wonder if they did that so that way when they get to the Rogue Squadron movie that's coming out later, maybe he'll be an older person.
Oh, it could be. It could be. I mean, they certainly like to have these little bits that you've caught from somebody and turn it into a huge story after that. So I mean, Reva makes a lot of sense. We'll obviously get into that. The fact that she's still alive, because Cole and I thought she was going to bite it and she didn't. Jay thought she would live. I could see one of the things that Laybourne actually said to me on that DM when he sent me the question is, and I think it's a good point, is that it makes a lot of sense to do more with Reva in a book, because there's so much under the surface there.
Yeah.
That you could really get that across more in a book than you could a series. Because I don't know that they would do a series with her, but a book makes a ton of sense.
I agree. It's a character I think they're going to have to flesh out, right? I mean, there's so much that we like alluded to or decided, well, this is how she knows, or this is, but we didn't see a whole lot. And that seems to be a lot of the complaints, even from the people that like the character, is there's a lot of like big, heavy lifting that we have to do as an audience member.
Yeah, I think so. A lot of people were saying that we didn't get her full story, or like it was this great character they introduced, but then they kind of like, oh, that's how you left it. That's how the direction you went. And so, yeah, there's a reason she's left alive, you know? So there's no reason to keep her alive unless you have plans to do something else with her, I would say. So I think they're going to have to do something with her in some other way. I just don't know that it'll be a series. I just think it makes more sense to be a book.
Do you guys think she can carry her own series? Do you think she's got the chops for it?
I mean,
not without a lot of hate.
It's an interesting backstory. You know,
it is.
The fact that she, Order 66, she had to like climb herself up through the ranks only so she could like be the person to get close enough to Vader to fucking shank him. Now that didn't go well. Could have been a better plan in the end, but it was also like, I don't think she was, even if she had a plan, Kenobi didn't give her a chance, right? It was like, this is your time now. And
right.
Also, if you're going to do a sneak attack, you probably shouldn't lead with a scream. You know what I mean? Like a rage scream.
Igniting lightsaber.
Can't believe you saw that coming.
Yeah. As we talked about last week, I think it didn't matter how she did it. Maybe if she would have got him while he was in the midst of trying to pull the ship apart or whatever, he would have been distracted enough. But otherwise, he seemed to be waiting for her to step into that trap. So it's a trap. I mean, there's other stuff you could do with Vader or Leia even, and I know they have in comics and books and such. So I don't know if there's other stuff that they would include her in. I do want to talk about kind of what they might do with this Kenobi series going forward, but we can save that for after we talk about the show.
Yeah.
How about Haja? Get him a comic or something.
I think we're missing one very important character.
Are we?
Yep. Frick? What's his name? What's the guy on fucking Jameem? Not Jameem. What is it? The planet. He's the guy driving the thing. He's the turncoat asshole.
Oh, Freck.
Freck. I said Frick.
Why am I forgetting Freck?
He's
Who's
the Zach Braff.
He's the
okay.
He's the better. So
Yeah.
I think a whole series where he just fucking rats motherfuckers out. Benedict Arnold. He's just driving around fucking.
Just like a Star Wars short, like 8 minutes. Like every episode's just like someone coming to the planet. He finds a way to hand him over.
Got another one for you guys.
That has to be written by like the Family Guy crew, though.
Well, and what about Wade?
He
I'm
dead.
Mouse is gone.
Yep.
Haja would be interesting. I'd like to see some Haja hijinks.
I'd like to see Haja show up in other properties now.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'd carry his own, but he's an interesting character, and I'd like to see what develops from him now, because I would say, had some of the most character growth throughout the series.
Underutilized, I think. If I could just make that opinion.
Well, after dropping all of the fucking Obi-Wan's goods, I think he was utilized just right.
He was just kind of there in the background, and then like they kind of seemed like they wanted to rely on him to be like Leia's the number 2 for Obi-Wan. They're like, all right, there's no one else on this freighter that's worth a damn that can make sure this job gets done.
Did he get Leia home? Was that his responsibility, right? So if he got her home and he met the Organas, were they like, yo, here's a little money for your underground railroad,
Maybe.
Well, yeah, one would think it was either Roken or him or both.
I would say Roken probably was taking the lead on that.
No joking. Sorry. You ready for the news?
Yeah.
All right. So there has been a rumor we've heard many times before about Millie Bobby Brown and how, she would make, she of Stranger Things fame, would make a great young Leia, which I totally agree with. She would. There are more rumors popping up again saying that Lucasfilm and her camp are kind of flirting with each other over the prospect of her being in a Star Wars property of some sort, movie, series, whatever. Not necessarily Leia, I think, at this point, but maybe someone else. And I would just say 100% yes, do it tomorrow.
I agree. Yeah,
She's
actually,
awesome.
was the rumor, it's not Leia, it's just that she's going to play a property?
It didn't
I guess
say
that would make
specifically.
sense because she's what, not even 5 years from being old enough to be what Carrie Fisher was when she first played Leia.
Well, yeah, I mean, her in real life, isn't she like 18
She's
years
18,
old?
I think. And what was Carrie Fisher? 22, 24?
You're saying Carrie Fisher herself? Yeah, she
Yeah.
would have been really young. Like
Yeah.
like 21. So maybe even younger. In fact, because I think there was a little bit. There was a her and Harrison. There's a little like cringy part of that because there was a pretty significant age gap.
Carpenters like him young.
I mean, now that we've gotten Leia in this Kenobi series, obviously a younger version. I don't know that you fill in the gap with her somewhere as Leia. You could, but I could see her playing anybody. I mean, you could put her in nearly any role because I just think she's such a great actress. So
Right.
I'm all for it, whatever they want to do.
Stormtrooper, I say.
Oh, yeah. A young Phasma.
Don't hide her behind that mask.
11th sister.
There we go.
Also rumors, Cal Kestis, he of the Jedi Fallen Order, and then soon to be Jedi Survivor, and Shameless. The rumor there is that Cameron Monaghan might be signing on to play him, Cal Kestis, in some sort of upcoming Disney Plus series, which makes a ton of sense given the popularity of the video games, video game, the second one to come, and that they used his likeness and his voice. I'll say it again, 100% yes, do it tomorrow.
So is the next game the last then? There's not going to be like a trilogy of games? Because it would kind of make sense for them to carry the character on maybe after the games. I don't know.
True. I don't know that there's a plan for a third one. It may be. They do love trilogies.
Yeah.
But at this point, I think it's just the second game. And there's a lot to do with his character that you could really flesh out. People love Jedi, like yourself. So I just think it makes a ton of sense,
I'm all for it.
Set to be around the time of the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, right? Is that was
the second video game is.
Yes.
Yes, correct. The first one was like 5 years prior.
What if it's just what if they take all the live action shots and then just refilm it, or so you could just watch the series, but it's just the game?
It's just a video game. Well, this is boring. I know what's gonna happen.
They pick one person's random saved file, and then every mistake you've made in the game.
How does this guy keep dying? It turns into what's the movie with Tom Cruise where he keeps dying? Edge of Tomorrow.
That's the one.
It's like it's an Edge of Tomorrow Jedi Fallen Order game. He just keeps dying.
I kind of like that idea.
Oh man,
You heard it here.
yeah. So Lucasfilm, you've heard we've all voted in favor of these.
That's right.
So
Carry
go
on.
ahead.
What was it in our chat room where we were talking about, and I said, well, they got, Kennedy's like, we got an open slot in November for the volume.
Oh, you said, yeah, we built this thing. Now let's fucking use it. I don't want any weeks where this thing is not being used.
How'd I end it? Get pen to paper, fucking nerds.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Kenobi Finale.
I've got a callback from our previous episode. Remember we were discussing how do the Organas survive when they know Leia is alive? Remember we were talking about that?
Yes.
The Emperor, or what am I looking for? The
Empire.
The Empire was growing stronger, right? I was pointed this out by, I believe it was Derek at work, the guy who has been emailing the show.
Yeah,
Here he comes
number one
again.
Cole fan.
Here he comes again.
My number one fan.
He brings you up, you bring him up. I see what's going on here.
We have a little deal. I'm going to split the Kenobi saber from
Just remember, Jay, Derek is Cole.
Yeah.
That wasn't me. That was Patricia. No, so it was brought up in episode 4, right at the beginning, where they abolished the Senate. Tarkin talks about it.
Yes.
Right.
He goes, the local governors will have direct control. Remember that?
Yes.
So it's the first scene where they're abolishing the Senate.
And that's where the Moffs-
vestiges of the old Republic are no longer here.
Right.
And so that kind of was the cue to, we no longer have to deal with the Senate. There's no more power from them, and we can start fucking
It's
blowing
just
planets
become a
up.
dictator.
Yep. So
Yeah.
that's what I think. That's how they were able to survive. The Senate was still protecting them, keeping them alive.
Correct. Okay. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yes. They. I think we might have said that last week, but is that if they squashed the Organas, they would just only fuel the rebellion and the Senate's issues with the Empire in general more. So that's why they didn't do it. It's a political reason.
Sorry if we talked about this already.
That's
I
all
have
right.
a memory
I can't.
like a goldfish.
Maybe I thought about it. Maybe I just thought of that. I don't know.
That's my thing, dude. I don't remember if I dreamed this. Is this a dream? Or, that's it.
All right. Well, Layborn. Anyway. I knew I'd feel this way, but damn it, it's over. Like it's over so fucking fast, you know. And we knew it was going to be that way. And as I mentioned before at the top of the show, was it a perfect series? No. Was it really good and gave us a lot of cool new characters and some really fucking awesome moments? Absolutely. So in the end, I really, really enjoyed this series quite a lot.
And we got to see Jesus, He is risen, Obi-Wan Kenobi. That was amazing.
Yeah,
That's true.
That was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, I know in 3 days I'm coming out now.
Let there be rocks.
Let there be. Oh,
that was fucking wicked.
Yeah.
Rock
That
fight.
was cool. Yep.
Why you hit yourself? Why you hit yourself?
You know, it's because those rocks were shattering into sand. That's exactly what was pissing him
Oh,
off.
hate
sand.
this.
Yeah, god damn it.
He's like, it's in my suit. It's everywhere. There's a big gaping hole in my mask.
Very emotional episode. They got me a couple times, you know?
Yeah. I got choked up a couple times. Yeah. It was good.
We open on Tatooine, speaking of, you know, Vader's favorite planet. And they're at Anchorhead, and that fucking cunt from the meatpacking place comes in and just knocking people out of line. I love that they had
this
to bring
guy
that
to get
guy
his
back.
own series.
He and Freck.
I want to know who hurt this guy. So yeah, they're like long distance pen pals.
He's Knuckles is his
comeback.
nickname. Nickname is Knuckles. He goes around just beating people up.
I just love how they brought that back. Full circle. And then a hobbled Reva comes up and puts him in his place. And then she's like, I'm looking for a farmer named Owen.
Yeah.
And so then we see Owen and Luke are, you know, in town shopping for parts. That's when Owen learns that Reva's looking for him. And so he goes home to talk to Beru. And I love how he's like, we got to run. And Beru's like, fuck you. We're fighting
Yeah.
this. We're not going to, you know, just take off and leave our home. Like, grow a pair.
I put in my notes, Beru's got a backbone and a blunderbuss hidden away. So she pulls that fucker out. She's like, I'm not fucking running. This is my house.
Yeah.
Whose house? Beru's house.
My name is Joan Wick in a past life.
I just love that the you didn't see Beru being the badass from A New Hope, but she is Mama Bear here. She is not about to let them get to Luke. So
I feel like Owen's got a little bit more like, we got to get the fuck out of here, because he's already run into her once before. Like, he knows who's coming. She's chopped hands off. You know, she's threatened him face to face. You know, he's like,
you haven't seen this woman. Yeah.
Oh, we also get, speaking of alliteration, we got the Beru with the backbone, the blunderbuss, badass, and she does a bitch slap a little later on in the show, too. Did you guys catch that?
yeah.
She catches her off guard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Smacks her right across the face. But meanwhile, we get some awesome like Empire Strikes Back music while Vader is in pursuit of Ben and Leia. That was that scene. It was like the scene in on Hoth when the guy's like trying to find, you know, Luke and Han out in the So I love that any of that music you pull back in, it just gets you right into it emotionally right away, because you're like, fuck yeah. Like,
There's a lot of the music used in this episode.
Yeah, and I like how she did it because she kind of uses it just enough.
Yeah.
And but then kind of goes back to what the score is for this show or whatever. So I liked the use of it. It wasn't overdone, I thought.
Right.
And we get some cool scene of the space chase, too, right? Like, they're trying to avoid...
We'll get to that later, because there's an email where someone had a problem with that. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. You open the first fucking movie up, and it's just, I said shoot across her nose, not up it, and the fucking ship doesn't move at all. It's just taking laser blasts. Now we got a ship fucking veering and shit. You can't get me! And someone's pissed off about it. It's like...
Or like, what was it on, is it Empire Strikes Back, I think? He's like, don't worry, I know a few maneuvers, and the ship just slowly drifts to the left. Like it's the Millennium Falcon. That's your maneuvers, Han? Like, that's all you know?
He's just baiting them, you know?
Yeah. But that's cool. Like, you get to see I love the fucking Vader's like, open up. What does he say? Give him full firepower.
Yes.
Right? Like, what are you doing? You don't do anything half-assed. Why are you just back there keeping something in reserve or what? I just imagine evil Paul Revere coming up. Give them a volley. He's got his hat on like a Civil War soldier.
Or the guy says, when he says, you know, increase your firepower or whatever, the guy's like, we went all in. Like, we're giving him everything we got already.
I feel...
Sure, he's like, I'm going to turn up the power. Like,
it's like, don't fucking turn that blender on, evil Paul Revere, because we'll short circuit.
It's like me telling my kids before I podcast, get off the Wi-Fi.
I think it's like They go halvesies. Like, you always start off at halvesies because you don't want Darth Vader walking into the bridge and saying, give them all firepower. They're like, sir, we've already done it. He's like, what the fuck am I doing on this bridge?
Why am I here?
Yeah. So you always go half and let him come in and make the law.
Good call, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Corporate brown nosing.
Yeah.
That would have done the exact same thing, sir.
But it very much felt like the beginning of A New Hope, with the Tantive 4 and stuff and a Star Destroyer chasing him. And then Ben reads Roken and he's like, so we're not making it to Tessin, right? And he's like,
right.
No.
Well, yeah.
No fucking chance.
Meanwhile, on that freighter, everyone's just calm as fuck. They're all just they're like, did you guys get the sense that they were just waiting to die? Like they all knew, like, yeah, we're done. We're fucked.
Yeah, like every other person was like praying.
Don't worry, guys. We'll have the hyperdrive fixed real soon. Yeah, right.
As Roken's cocking his gun, he's going to go in the other room and shoot himself.
And they're like, just a reminder, the flotation devices are under your seat. Yeah. In case of a crash landing.
Here on the SS Edmunds Fitzgerald, we'd like to let you guys know, thank you for flying.
So then Ben's like, okay, like I need to be the distraction here. He's going to go after me, so let me leave and you guys go on. And Leia is like, not having it. She is fucking pissed. Mm-hmm. Everybody else on board's pissed. They're like, you're going to leave us? Like, you're the Jedi. You can't leave us. And that's when he says, hey, you're the future. And he literally looks right at Leia and goes, you're the future. You need to survive.
He really has to like fight the crowd there. He's like got a speech prepared, basically not prepared, but he has to go in and be like, "Listen," I'm like, "They like Obi-Wan."
Been waiting for this moment. Pulls out a sheet of paper from his robe.
Well, I think when you watch a guy like force push 25 troopers and fend off a million blaster bolts in front of you, you're like, "Yeah, we don't need that guy leaving us," because they think if he leaves and they still get pursued, they're screwed.
That's
they
true.
don't have anybody to protect them.
Yeah.
Ben, is like kind of apologetic to Leia. Excuse me. He's like, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna be able to take you home personally, and then he gives her tallest holster, blaster, because he's like, you're 10 years old. I'm not gonna give you a blaster. But I like how he said, but you won't always be. I like that little line that he had.
She also she kind of storms off, and Ben goes to follow her, and Haja, who's now an experienced babysitter / parent, maybe she just needs a little space.
That's right. And then later he says, I talked to her. You're welcome.
I talked to her. You're welcome. Yeah. It's like. It was the equivalent of like, I loosened up the pickle jar for you.
Yeah, I did part of that. That was mostly me.
I might have put this out of order, but it kind of came to me as I was watching the show. But was that right? Earlier, she was using Lola to distract the kids.
Yes.
Was that earlier on, or
that was right?
That
was right away. That was early on in the because everybody's freaking out.
I got this little vibe from her when she's like using Lola to calm. She's like, well, it calms the kids down, and it's making it easier. And Ben's like, well, maybe you could let me borrow her too, because he's like, he's
I want to be calmed.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she kind of gives him this looks like, well, maybe you could stop being such a little bitch. Did you guys get that from her?
I didn't know.
I didn't.
She kind of just like looks at him like, okay, why don't you fucking man up? You're in the back seat. You don't need a seatbelt.
But she takes it to heart because she sends Lola on her way with him. So I don't know. But then when Leia says to him, like, come back, please. And he says, I promise. I'm okay.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of those moments. Basically anything between Leia and Ben was like just really tugging at the heartstrings this whole episode.
Oh, and earlier too, when we were talking about the pulling out the blunderbuss from underneath in the igloo on Tatooine.
Yeah.
Beru kind of gives him Owen a little taste of his own medicine. Did you guys catch that?
What was that?
Where she's like, he's like, well, Obi-Wan's not here. And she's like, well, whose fault is that?
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
He does an eye roll like fucking again with the Ben thing.
Like you trained his father, Owen?
Yeah, I know he's handsome, okay? That's why I don't want him around. I don't need you leaving me for him, Beru.
He's got a way better beard than me, all right? I get it!
Then Ben tries to call Qui-Gon again. And of course, every time this happens, this whole series, we've been like, is
every
it going to
time.
now? Is it going to be now? Is it
Yeah,
going to be?
yeah.
And I always thought it would be the voice, not the embodiment, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But yeah, he's like, basically, this shit ends today. I don't care what happens. We got to stop doing this stuff. I got to go off and face him. This is very reminiscent. We talked about the ties to episodes 1 through 6, Return of the Jedi vibes. I got to go face him.
I got a cave to get back home to.
Yeah, that's just, Tekka is wondering, is it Tekka? Tika? I can't remember the name of the Jawa that was always selling stuff.
Yeah.
Every day that guy shows up and is like,
robbing his shit and then selling it back.
Yeah. He's like, I've robbed all of his stuff. I need to sell it to him now.
That's my number one customer. Where's he at?
But I do love the exchange with Roken, where he's like, there's not many leaders left and people follow you. You need to keep going. And he said, I'm just getting started.
That's a seed right there.
Hashtag Andor.
Yeah. We'll see him around again.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He also points out, he's like, it's not about us, is it? Like, he's like, it's really, this whole thing is about you and Vader. But, I mean, how about you be a little bit more grateful, Roken? I saved your ass pretty good here.
Right.
But, you're right. Part of this is about me and Anakin, or Vader, as we find later. But, you know what? I'm here for everyone as well. I'm going to sacrifice my entire self.
He pulls Roken aside. He's like, what's the name of this show?
Is it Roken?
I tell you.
Is your name on the door?
Do you have a trailer and a chair with your name on it? No.
What number are you on the call sheet?
Yeah,
sir?
when did you show up? Like episode 4, maybe? Yeah. I mean, come on.
If it wasn't for your dad, you wouldn't even fucking be here.
Well, obviously, I think the point being there is he's like, there's nothing I can say to you that's going to convince you to stay, even if we feel like we can make it. You want to go fight.
I thought the conversation was a little silly though, because like 5 seconds later, it's like, yeah, we're all going to die in a minute, so. He's like, you need to stay here with us. What's it going to be?
And then, meanwhile, back on the Imperial Star Destroyer, the Grand Inquisitor and fucking Vader are having a little powwow on the main deck. Like, we should probably crush this rebellion once and for all.
Oh, he looked pissed. He was like, okay, I don't think we should go after him. By the way, somebody's pointed out, they're like, don't they have like a bunch of TIE fighters they could have sent?
You took it right out. If only they had a fleet of TIE fighters to follow along this entire fucking rebellion. Nope. All of our eggs in one basket. And then meanwhile, let's just park the fucking Star Destroyer. Or here's an idea. Use your shuttle to follow him because it's going to be a one-on-one anyways.
Right.
No. I'm not. I get way better gas mileage in the Imperial Freighter. Like,
there was an outtake where they end up there and he goes, I'll face him alone. Where the Inquisitor's like, then why are we here? We could have gone after the other people. Fuck.
Because my ship's not ready. Follow him.
Where I go, I need to I need to swing my dick too. Everyone needs to see me pull up in the Maserati, orbit the planet.
So Ben jets out of the, takes his little shuttle. Vader follows and he lands on the surface. And then Vader says, you've come to destroy me. And then he says, I will do what I must.
Ignites the blue saber.
Strike the fucking pose with the fucking peace sign out front.
I like that. I got chills right there. Yeah.
Yeah. It's an onslaught of callbacks and call forwards, I guess, to a degree, because some of the stuff is from Rebels. But then he says, then you will die. Again, a line from. We're going to get a lot of parallels with the Ahsoka battle with Vader from the season 2 finale of Rebels.
Correct. Yes.
Kenobi comes out hot, scoring lots of points in the early rounds. Really got off to a good start.
and it was the same. There were same back-to-back moves. They were doing the same as they did in their when they were on Coruscant.
Props to this Vader too, because it seems like, I mean, obviously you're comparing episode 4 with this.
Oh, this mean motherfucker moves, man.
Yeah, he was like skinny and muscular. You know what I mean? He's like live almost. Like he was moving around fucking. So he's moving quickly and he's like agile and he's not the clunky fucking Darth Vader, like, a barbarian.
It's not about like
Conan.
Hulk. Yeah.
He's not Hulk smashing everybody with his lightsaber.
Right.
He was just, it was really cool to see. And you like got some side angles where it's like, yeah, he kind of looks like skinny or ish.
I think it's Hayden in there and he's skinny, but yeah, the fighting that was my one big worry was like, how are they going to fucking represent like him being like a badass other than just like coming at him, which he kind of did in the first fight between them, right? It was just like smash.
Yeah.
But
leave it to me to admire the physique of Darth Vader in his new suit. Sorry.
Like, what are you doing on kickbacks there? Like, what are you, like 40 pounds? What do you got going?
Yeah. You got
what's your protein diet?
What's your push pull look like? I'm interested. Upper body, lower body. How's that work?
Well, and then Vader kind of acknowledges, like, oh, you got your groove back. Still not enough. And then just starts whooping his ass.
Oh, like Obi-Wan does the leaning tower on him. And
he's like,
oh, very nice. Let me just
pretty good.
Brush this to the
not
side.
Good enough.
It goes into he like sends it into orbit.
Yeah.
Dikembe Mutombo's it right out of the fucking planet.
And then that's when he just, he does starts working over Kenobi and then does the force earthquake maneuver to suck him down in the sinkhole. And then were you expecting him to say it when he was standing over?
I've got the high ground?
Yeah.
Yes, I was.
No, I completely
Yes, I was.
It was implied. He's like, I don't even need to say it.
Mm-hmm. The subtitles even popped up for a minute. I've got oh, no, never mind.
No, never mind.
Even the subtitles were predicting it.
But then just buries him in rocks. Just chucking rocks. A lot of rocks in this fight. It was a very and to that point, I'm glad the setting they chose. It's a planet we don't necessarily know. And it's just this kind of, for the most part, barren space. It's not because, and I want to get your guys' opinion on, like, as far as the fights that these two have had, where does this rank? Because like everybody everybody loves the Revenge of the Sith fight.
Yes.
I watched part of it, I don't know, a few weeks ago. It is so heavy CGI, and you can tell that it takes me out of it a little bit. Because I forgot how much stuff they're like crawling over and climbing up and all that stuff.
But that's what I like about it, because there was more to the fight than just them trying to hit each other. Like, there was like shit in their way. It was just like the whole scene stood out. And this is like, this is the one thing that's bothered me about this series is like everything is kind of bland. Like the background. So like everything is just like, oh, we're going to throw a couple of rocks here and okay, you two act. You know, you didn't like the green screen, Kenobi, so we'll put you some real shit here this time. But I don't know. That's the only thing. It just doesn't seem like there was a lot of money put toward the special effects.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about that last week with the volume and how sometimes the background doesn't look as convincing. Right. I felt like it was pretty good in this scene.
Oh, I did, yeah.
I thought it blended nicely. I just thought that bottom line is it comes down to these two guys just trying to fucking kill each other. It goes kind of in line with what they were doing when they were sparring earlier in this series. Yes. There's not a lot of obstacles. It's just these two guys trying to kill each other. And so that's what I appreciated. I appreciate about it. But
is that what you appreciate about it?
Yeah, that's what I appreciate about it. But yeah, so then he buries him and then walks off and you're like, come on. You really think he's dead? Like, you know what I mean? Like, is Darth doing that just to be like, I'm going to leave him there for a minute. I'm going to go slowly walk back to my ship. And I know he's coming back. You know, he had to have known he wasn't totally done. Don't you think?
Yeah. But he left him like he was. And that's another thing. For this guy, like, not taking shit and snapping necks and doing everything, when it comes to killing, like, someone that's, like, an opponent, he really just, like, I showed you and walks away every fucking time.
Yeah. It's almost like, it's like the Austin Powers thing. I've got a gun right here. Let's just shoot him. Like, no, that's not how it works, son.
All right, zip it.
But I do like the fact that he says something in along the lines of, you thought you could defeat me or something. And he's like, you have failed, master. Still calling him master, you know, still trying to prove himself, which is going to play in big time to what the fight that comes soon, because Kenobi is in this motherfucker's head.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he thinks he's got the upper hand and it's not even close.
And then, like, meanwhile, back on Tatooine, Reva's stalking, like, in the compound looking for Luke. Right? Yeah.
Yes.
And then we got Beru and Owen. They're fucking just
they're losing the high ground.
Did you catch the Luke comment? I'm not afraid. Fucking same thing he says in what does he say that in? Empire? It's right before Yoda says, "You will be."
Yes. Nice.
There's so many of those lines though.
The intensity of your look there really gave me chills. Really way to get into character. And then, so fucking Owen, man, he's got her bushwhacked, and he misses his first fucking shot. These goddamn blasters.
you know, Beru in her head's like, God damn it, Owen, we went over this.
This is why fucking Obi-Wan sneaks in the house in the middle of the night when you're fucking asleep.
He never misses.
But yeah, then Beru, like you said, slaps Reva after Owen gets taken out. And there's this little exchange there where she's like, you know, you really love him. And he's like, you know, he is my own and all that kind of thing. And they have this little battle. He has a couple nice shots to her gut, though. Like he kind of picks up on the fact that she's hurt.
I appreciate that, though. Like he's willing to die for his son.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she sneaks in and then like Luke runs off into the Tatooine desert. What do they call it? What is it? The fucking sands?
The Junlin Wastes?
Yeah, the Youngling Waste. Jungling Waste, whatever the hell they call it.
The Youngling Waste would be something else.
That's back on Coruscant.
That was back on Coruscant, yeah. And then, Kenobi's barely holding up the rocks.
Force bubble.
Here's your Jesus moment. Force bubble.
He's like, got a force bubble underneath there.
Did you listen to all the voices again? Because I was listening that time to see if it seemed like everything was taken from the series. But the second time I was listening, I was like, is there anything they pulled sort of like when Rey hears all the voices?
What weren't there a couple things from Revenge of the Sith?
Is that what it was from? Okay.
I thought there were a couple things
the
from Revenge of the
conversations
Sith.
between the. Yes, you're right.
Yeah, but then a lot of it was from this series.
Yeah,
You're right.
yeah.
And that's kind of what he's struggling with. And then the second he thinks about like the priority, the kids,
Yes.
he gets his power back. He's like, "Whoa," just shoots all that shit out. So funny.
Just blows his load.
Yeah, he does.
And then he comes up and it's Force Jesus.
I'm coming
rocking
for
and rolling.
you.
Yeah. Darth, here I come.
I love the fact, he force pushes Vader and then just lifts the rocks, which is funny because, of course, what's the line from Luke in Last Jedi? It's more than, the Force is more than just lifting rocks.
Yes.
And then just starts heaving them there's a rock fight, starts blasting Vader. And then what does Mick say to Rocky? Is it in episode 2 maybe? Basically like, don't let him breathe, like keep working the body. That's essentially what he does here. He's like, if I just beat the shit out of his breathing apparatus, this guy's fucked.
Yep.
So he just hammers the shit out of that thing. And then you get that sound that you heard in the end of Return of the Jedi, that
Trying to breathe. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he's using the hilt of his saber too. That's
smash
pretty
that
fucking
thing.
cool. Yeah, fucking letting him have it.
Yeah, moves that we have not seen necessarily before. I mean, as much as there's parallels to their fight on Revenge of the Sith and all that kind of stuff, there's also moves we've not seen them do before.
And then he does this, like, he slices him across the back. You know, you wanted to see Vader do the whole,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
just like, arch.
Like when you get scratched in the pool.
Yeah.
You just feel the burn.
Neosporin. Oh, that's gonna hurt the shower.
Getting hit across the shoulder blades is the absolute
Right.
worst. Like, arch the back.
He's like, come on, you can't hit one of my fake appendages. You got to fucking take it across the shoulders. Oh, man.
Yeah, that's still flesh, asshole.
And then Obi-Wan does the Matrix dive across the fucking rocks and like slices him across the mask, and he loses his negative pressure on his mask and he's fucked. You know, oxygen's just pouring out of that hole.
So Return of the Jedi, do you remember when he takes his mask off? He's got the scar on the top of his head.
Oh, yeah. Is that where it comes from?
I think that might be where it comes from. But of course, this is a huge parallel with the fight he's going to have years later against Ahsoka. Which now looking back on that fight, when that happens to him, then he must be like, God damn it, this mask! They keep cutting my mask open. Opposite side though.
Yes, it was.
Ahsoka was on the right side of his face. Mm-hmm. It gets very intense because you get this mixed voice where Anakin's
that
talking.
was fucking amazing.
Yeah, they did it a little bit in the Ahsoka scene. It kind of does that, but not to this level. This was like next level shit. The way his voice went back and forth.
That was the piece de resistance.
Yeah,
that was fucking amazing. And then
Hayden was great.
You could see Hayden under there, all fucking doctored up, and you could see the seething rage in his eyes, and then like,
and almost like the glee when he tells him it wasn't you that killed Anakin, it was me.
Oh yeah.
Ben gets like, he's still fucking loves him. It's his brother.
Yeah. And
he gets choked up and he's like, I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, God damn it. I'm sitting there fucking like, he's getting teary eyed. I got fucking goosebumps.
A lot of dirt in here.
Like, it's the sand. It's everywhere. It's in my eyes. I'm fucking trying not to fucking
Yeah, he's like,
emotional.
I'm not your failure. You didn't kill him, I did. Kind of taking the satisfaction away, I guess. It's because I think some people are thinking, is he taking away the guilt? He's not. I think he's saying like, fuck you, I did this.
I agree, because I don't know if he fully believes that. I mean, I think he does, but in the same sense, it's like he has to recognize that he's such a fucking monster. Yes. And like all the pain and everything he's going through and what he's lost. Like if there's any ounce of humanity left in him, I just don't see him believing that 100%.
But regardless of what he says, it completely gives Obi-Wan, you can see the weight off his shoulders almost.
Yeah,
because he's like, well, fuck it then. This is a lost cause. I've done everything I possibly can. And that's when he says, then my friend is truly gone. Again, a parallel to then my father is truly dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
That and he also kind of says that in paralleled, but he's like, then you really are lost, right? When he's yelling at him from the
Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith. And then also you got to kind of know that Obi-Wan or Vader is just saying whatever he can to get his goat. You know what I mean?
Yes.
He's like, he doesn't really believe that, because if he really believed the fact that you didn't do this to me, what would he be mad at Obi-Wan
Right,
for?
exactly.
Right? Like, I did all this myself. I'm not going to give you the satisfaction of feeling sorry for me. Mm-hmm. No, he's just trying to say that to save face.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he said earlier in the series, I am what you made me.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, right. This
now
is
he's changing. Now he's changing that tune. So he's got nothing. I mean, this is a guy who's got very few chips left and is trying to be, like bluff his way out of the situation, because he's still like, I could still fucking kick your ass. Like he's basically saying that as he's beat down.
He is. Yep.
He's
Okay,
really
guy.
digging his heels in is really an art with this man.
But then I love the way Kenobi ends it because he's like, "Goodbye, Darth." Little fucking nod to what we're gonna see, how he refers to him in A New Hope, and then that's also his way of saying like, "Anakin's gone, you're Darth now." So bye.
Yep, persona non grata.
Well, then you also get the Vader, Obi-Wan. I assume he did that way because Maul has the copyright on Kenobi.
It was very similar.
Well, but good of you to pick up on that, Matt.
He started to. Nope.
Now we got to put them both together. Obi-Wan Kenobi!
Good call.
Back on Tatooine, Reva knocks Luke out. And you notice how some people were talking about this. I saw that like Luke never saw the saber. Luke never really understood what was after him. He never really saw her. So,
I was telling my kiddo that last night when we were watching it. Like he's kind of in the dark about this whole thing, other than like there was a B&E and he had to fucking run away from a robber, basically.
Well, yeah, they said it was Tuskens.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Owen.
Yeah, blame it on
Blame
the Tuskens. Also, there's a hyperdrive working on that shuttle that Ben's on. Just maybe pull that one, put it in the one that's on the main freighter when you guys are trying to escape the Empire. Just maybe
different
components.
opponents.
One of them's metric, one's standard.
Yeah, they don't go together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like we saw that in Rebels, where the Phantom. Remember the guy equipped the Phantom with the hyperdrive, and the Ghost's one was broken, so they stuck the Ghost as part of the. Yeah, they used it that way. Anyway. So then she knocks him out and walks up to him. She's going to kill him and she sees herself.
Flashback.
And she just can't bring herself to do it. I thought that was a cool moment.
And really interesting, too, is I found that basically Obi-Wan was too fucking late. He wasn't going to make it in time.
Right.
And that's kind of like very fortuitous for him, I guess. You know, like he can't do everything. You know, he's the only fucking Jedi left. Where's Yoda? Send Yoda on a mission.
He's chilling in the swamps.
He's still fucking got
Eating all the goods.
I looked that up the other day. You know how close Dagobah is to Mustafar? It's close.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Like way too close. Like, whoa, I didn't realize he was that close to him. Just keeping an eye on things. I don't know.
Yep.
It's like a Venn diagram. They just overlap.
Yeah,
There's like two circled planets.
Every night Yoda's like drinking tea, looking out of his telescope. I see you.
Well, and I your point is a good one, Cole, is that, and that's something that you realize later when he goes to visit Owen and Luke, is he's kind of finally understood, like, I got to let the Force work its ways. I can't cover every base here. Like, I've got to I got to let go a little bit. So he does kind of start to realize that.
Yeah, when he's talking to Owen about, you're right, he just needs to be a boy. Let him be a boy.
Yeah, he kind of lets go. And so, Reva comes back carrying Luke's body. I think everybody's, at least Owen and Beru, are like, is he dead? Is he fucking dead? She killed him, didn't she? And then they realize he's alive.
It's like a cat with a bird, bringing it back to you.
Yeah, right. Still alive.
Look what I got. I'm playing with
and
it.
then you get this nice exchange with Reva and Kenobi where she's like, I couldn't do it. I failed them. And he's like, no, you've given them peace. She's just totally torn up. And then she says, have I become him? And then he says, you chose not to. Now it's kind of up to you what you want to be. And I think that's probably where people are like, that's how you're going to leave it with her. I think people wanted a little bit more out of that. I don't know what else you could have done. If you're not going to kill her, then you need to have this moment of her being like totally broken and open-ended to, all the way open-ended so she can go in any different direction, who knows where,
Well, she leaves her saber on the sands of Tatooine, a la fucking...
Hope Luke doesn't find that thing.
Someone with a metal detector is just gonna go out there. That's what Maz is like. She just like goes to Tatooine for vacation with a metal detector, and she's always finding fucking lightsabers.
Well, I was gonna say that the joke is the first time Luke was handed a lightsaber, he looked right down the barrel of it. So you gotta be careful that he doesn't do that with this one, or the Jawas find it. They sell that thing. That would be big money.
For sure.
So then back on Mustafar, Vader's on the holo call with Palps, and he's just like, we're gonna send everything. We got probes out. We're gonna fucking find this guy. We're gonna crush him. And Palps is like, dude, you're a little obsessed here. That is worrying me.
He's kind of jabbing him.
Get over her.
Right.
He's needling him a little bit. He's like, what does he say? I don't think your thinking is completely clear.
Yes.
With this. And then, is this supposed to be why Vader doesn't go after Obi-Wan again and like doesn't go after the kids?
I think so, but like that can be open to interpretation, right? Because if there's a second season, it can be more of a, basically they're back to the Inquisitors looking. And if they stumble across him, fine. But I think like his attention is needed elsewhere.
Is this what? It's because he goes, Kenobi means nothing. I serve only you.
Right.
Right. He says
Yes,
that
he's stamping down those emotions. He's got to
Yep.
he's got to get his job done. And it's something similar to what the Emperor says to him in, I think it's Return of the Jedi, where he's like, is this obsession with your son clouding your judgment essentially? Like, is this, I'm a little concerned about how
Yep.
emotionally involved you are here. Palps he's all about being professional.
Well, that's what that can tend to push them back over to the light, right?
Could.
So
yes.
that's why he's always like,
Yeah, don't do that. Yeah.
Paps has got a deadline.
you're all in or you're out, buddy.
The quarterly numbers to fill for the Empire. So
That's right.
We got a spreadsheet. We got to meet her.
I know.
I like
about
that they do the Imperial March though. Dun 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 dun. Like as the camera kind of pans away from him.
Yeah, he's back into Darth mode that you're going to see
Yeah.
in A New Hope for sure. And then we go back to Alderaan. Leia's suiting up. She's got the gloves still that she got on Dayu from Kenobi. And then she puts the holster on, and that's when they welcome the ship. And here's Obi-Wan, and here come the emotions again.
Yeah.
I like how she put Lola in the holster, by the way. Did you notice
Right. Yes.
Oh, did she? That's cute. I didn't see that.
Kind of funny. Yeah, but this exchange between the two of them was pretty tough. But he does say to Bail, like, if you ever need my help again, you know where to find me. So that's a little lead into what we'll see later. Like Bail talks about going to find him in Rogue One. And then, of course,
Yes.
obviously that leads to him sending the message. But Kenobi tells Leia all these traits that about her parents that he sees in her. I was just like, my God.
Yeah.
I really feel like they missed a spot, like where Obi-Wan's getting back on his shuttle. He should have turned around and been like, "Hey, Bail, don't forget to get some sunblock because it's going to get real hot here on Alderaan."
And by the way, next time, maybe encode your message a little better. Fuck.
Yeah, don't be so thirsty with the fucking undercover messages, okay? Maybe just tell Reva next time. Just send her a DM. Hey, he's on Alderaan. It's his son.
Yeah.
I'm
Just
sorry, he's on
fucking straight out
Tatooine.
sell me out if you're gonna do it.
Well, I think that's what he was kind of doing. He was saying it loud enough when he was talking to Leia. She's like, "Well, I see you again," and he's like, "Well, we can't." Essentially, lead on that we have this
Yes.
connection or a relationship because it can endanger both of our
Right.
lives. Get that, Bail? We got to keep this on the DL. Get that? Jesus.
Yeah, just saying it so that
You know, Bell's back there. Sorry.
Yeah. Oops. My bad, man. That was my bad. It all worked out.
Now this one's for Leia, and only Leia this time.
Right.
He fucking
God,
tells her.
don't screw it up again. And then finally, Ben pays a visit to the surly Owen. He's really getting into Owen mold for A New Hope.
I like it.
Yeah. And yeah, that's what you talked about before. Let the boy live his life. Like, he can't be the hover guardian anymore. He's got to let him do his own thing.
Yeah.
And then we get the Ben, you want to meet him line was almost like Field of Dreams. Dad, want to have a catch? It's one of those moments where you're like, God, they're going to get me again.
And then we get the hello there.
Yeah, of course they had to have that in there somewhere. Everybody was mad that he didn't say it to Freck when she said, say hello. And he goes, hi, or hello. He didn't say hello there. Everybody's like, come on, you got to say hello
They
there.
were saving it.
Yeah.
How are you now? Is what he should have done.
Then, of course, the final scene. We finally get Qui-Gon motherfucking Jinn.
Yep.
We basically learn that Obi-Wan couldn't see him because he wasn't ready. He was still holding on to the Anakin guilt. He wasn't open to kind of being available to be one with the Force, which is what you're assuming Qui-Gon's going to teach him how to do since he later becomes a Force ghost himself.
His chi was off, was not centered.
Right. The I was always here Obi-Wan line was a bit creepy, Like, do you think Obi-Wan's like, you mean like at night when I'm Yes. I averted my eyes, Obi-Wan. I did not watch.
Especially at night.
That picture of Padme that I always kept in my wallet, like you were watching me there in that one. But we also get left with the biggest fucking cliffhanger.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, what happens to his Eopie? We don't ever see him again.
Well, he's got him at least for a while. I mean, those things have to have a shelf life.
He gets
right?
hungry out there in the caves.
Just wondering. I mean, I got to ask the tough questions.
Yeah, you do.
He gets hungry. There's going to be a scene from a future episode where he's like, I'm sorry. And he's killing him because he has to eat him.
Yeah, he's like, who you think taught fucking Han that the Tauntauns were warm on the inside? I did.
Yeah. Remember how I brought you that meat every day from work? Well, I got to be taking some of that back.
What do you think I fattened you up for?
Gonna need those ribs.
For my own belly.
Fires up the smoker.
In the end, as far as reactions and what some people are like, some people really feel, I think they do this with all these series, but they were like, oh, the way this affects A New Hope and the original trilogy and all that stuff. And I mean, in small ways, I guess. But to me, the one thing this did a lot for me is that almost like how Solo showed you the Han Chewie relationship, so that now going back and watching those movies makes that a stronger bond.
Yes.
Now the Leia relationship makes it even stronger because of what he went through with them and because of what we saw him do with Luke. The scene that I think we talked about before from A New Hope, when Kenobi is holding off Darth, like fighting Darth, and he looks over and sees Luke and Leia together for the first time.
Yeah.
We talked in the past about how emotional that must have been for him, like they're together, you know, like I did my job. Now even more so, knowing what he's done for Leia in the past, that moment is going to be even more heightened, because it's going to be like, look, I got them together. The two people I was defending and protecting, they're together and they're about to escape.
Yep.
And he's also like to himself, like, you know, I know you just kissed her on the bridge. Right? She kissed you on the cheek. I saw that. You fucking, that's your sister.
Keep it to the cheek. Okay.
Yeah. Just the cheek. Like your
no
aunt.
mouth. No mouth. They waited till he died before they did the mouth.
That's why it was a cutscene, really, because that's why, like, he took a saber to the fucking shoulder and just died, because as he looked over, he was like, I'm so disappointed in you.
They get away with Luke, like, nailing Beru, too, because that's not his real mom. So he can do, like, stepmom.
Let the boy watch.
They do have a tight bond.
It's always, you know, oh, my stepsister got stuck under the cupboard while she was working on the plumbing. Aunt Beru's in there trying to fucking work out the moisture evaporators. Oh, Luke, I didn't know you were going to be home so early. Oh, Aunt Beru.
Give me some of that blue milk.
It's my favorite.
Do they make a season 2?
Yep.
You think so? They certainly left it open to make a season 2. Do you want a season 2?
I do, and I think there's enough seeds that were planted for it's Kenobi to come back. Yeah, no pun intended. But the biggest one being the Inquisitorium. You know, the shenanigans going on the
right.
7th floor.
Don't go to the 7th floor. There is no 7th floor at the Inquisitorium.
Right.
What?
It's floor 13.
Yeah.
It would be too much, I think, for another season. To be honest with you, I liked where this one left off. I like how it ended and wrapped up. It was really, really well done.
So you want him to, the next 10 years, just living out in...
Well, I just feel like if they try to push more into it, it's going to... The quality is going to be sacrificed. Like the sequel, you know, it's never better than the first. So, I don't know. Maybe they could pull it off, but I feel like they're just going to be pushing for extra and, like, molding characters into things that they aren't necessarily, you know what I mean, just for content. I don't want it just because they want more content.
Kennedy, I mean, they've talked about this, all of them, the people that, you know, the actors, Kennedy, Chow, etc. Though I think her most recent statements were along the lines of, like, if there's a story to tell and if the fans are really wanting it, then we would consider making something. Fan service. They're going to make something the fans want. No, I'm just kidding. But I think they've delivered a series that is satisfying and they don't have to do anything more. If they do, I'm just wondering how you do it. Do you really include Vader in that series, and how? I mean, I felt like we kind of had the send-off there between the two of them. Do they need to show them again together? Are they going to show what Vader's up to while Kenobi's up to other shit in season 2? Like, how would you handle season 2? What would happen?
Yeah, I mean, how many times can those two meet? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's like you could make it go infinitely. You know
well,
what I mean,
there's a lot of people that are griping because the death wasn't faked or whatever. They kind of just separated, right?
Yes. For
them to come back in another season and kind of, I guess, give it that finite. Oh, one of them, you know, Obi-Wan's dead. Now he can go off and just be.
Which is good. I think that's good. Everyone was expecting, like we were all saying, he's going to fake his own death. He's going to have to fake his own death so that Vader will leave him alone. But no, they went a less obvious route. I thought that it was going to be, like I was thinking, like when he smashed those rocks down on him, I was thinking, okay, this is where Qui-Gon comes in and finally comes in and gives him in his most desperate hour the advice that he needs. Yeah. But he doesn't. He finds it himself.
Yes.
Like they did a lot of twists that
that's true.
They didn't take the easy route, I don't think. And this was a more compelling story because of it, in my opinion. Yeah,
and it creates a different vibe as far as it not being that Vader thinks he's dead, but just being like, I know that he's out there, but I can't do anything about it. Not to mention he keeps kicking my fucking ass, so maybe I shouldn't go find him.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, there's got to be a piece of him that's afraid of Kenobi because he keeps kicking his ass.
Fuck yes.
You know, he doesn't want to admit it, but he's owned by that motherfucker.
Yeah.
I can do it this time. Give me a chance, coach. No, man. You're 0-10.
That's why Palps is like, I think you need to move on. He's like, you're right. You're right. You're right.
Palps is probably like, fuck, man, I picked the wrong one. I should have been working on Obi-Wan the whole time.
I would like to see a Vader series next, though. I want to delve more into that, more into the Inquisitors, like more of like the Empire and how they kind of like those years building up to A New Hope.
Okay, so going forward from this timeline, going forward, not
Yes.
Vader prior.
Or
Okay.
even if they do go either or, but like I want to see. I mean, he's definitely built up his power, right? I want to see like how powerful he is and like push his reach out, like where people become aware of this fucking menace everywhere. You know?
Yeah, I could see that.
I got a question for you too.
Yeah.
Do we still not have a chosen one? Considering now, this is a two-parter. Was Anakin supposed to be the chosen one, but he took the turn to the dark side, and we never got the balance to the Force that we were supposed to because he went evil instead of going to the light? Or because if he was the chosen one, he should be handling Ben. He should be handling Kenobi.
Didn't we have this conversation in the DMs a while back?
We might have.
Wasn't there a big thing on this because there was
We still don't have a chosen one. It was supposed to be Anakin. He's the boy's the chosen one.
because Anakin was still the chosen one because in the end he saved Luke.
If he was the chosen one, why the fuck was Obi-Wan on his level then? Obi-Wan was handling him. He beat him a bunch of times. If he's the most powerful being in the Force ever.
Because he couldn't
It
even
didn't have
bring
anything to do
balance
with
till
being
the
the
very end.
strongest Jedi. Yeah, it was to bring balance.
And in the end, it's his actions against
That kills the Emperor.
that kills the Emperor. Sort of.
Fucking, weren't his midichlorian counts off the chart?
Let's not get bogged down in midichlorians.
Okay. All right. Oh, you guys just want to fucking
Luke never
just
got his
brush over it.
midichlorians. Luke never got his midichlorians tested. You know, it's like the SATs. You know, Anakin had a 1600. Who knows what Luke had? Luke took the ACT.
Luke's going to fucking Mustafar Community College. Fucking Anakin's at fucking Corellia University.
Right, exactly. Different paths, but like where they ended up. You know,
Rey Skywalker was the chosen one.
You know, Luke. There's nothing wrong with going to the trades after high school. Okay,
exactly.
Go right ahead.
Not everybody's fit for college. Okay.
Why don't you join the National Guard?
You don't have to look straight down every pipe.
Know what I'm saying? The other thing that came up too that I was thinking about, maybe saw something on Twitter about this, but is if you look at Vader's fights, so he gets his ass whooped by Kenobi a bunch. He essentially loses to Ahsoka and Rebels, if you want to look at it that way. I mean, he's, certainly she was able to kind of handle him.
Yeah.
Is Vader like that sport, like a team? They beat up on all the weaklings, but then they actually play good teams and they get their fucking ass kicked. Is that what Vader is? Is he just beating up on the weaklings and earning his rep from that? But really, in the end, he can't take on the big dogs?
What is it, the NFC South? Like he's the
Yeah,
there's
right.
like one good. What is it, the Patriots somewhere? They've got somebody.
Yeah, I just thought about that because it's like he gets handled by some of the stronger Jedi.
Yeah,
and
he makes the playoff every year with a fucking 7-8 record. It's
Right.
like fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. See? Okay. Let that simmer.
But he always shows up.
Well, he thinks he's the best.
Right.
He's not the best. He gets to the final four.
Got
and
the
he fucking
Emperor in his
chokes.
corner every time. You can do it.
He's a bit of a choker.
He's like
works
he's
on
like
a lot
that.
of levels.
He's like that mangled Spartan on fucking 300 that leads him down the goat path. I'm one of you guys too. He's like barely can raise his shield up.
And back to your point, Jay, too. I think, Vader you could do something with. I just don't understand how they would include Vader in a Kenobi season 2. I just don't
Right.
get how those two mingle at this point. I feel like those two, the story has split off for those two, and I don't know how you would include them both in a season 2. But we'll see. They'll find a way, I'm sure.
Season 2, Obi-Wan Kenobi gets addicted to spice, and you just see him tripping balls on Tatooine for an entire season.
Season 2, Boba Fett shows up,
Yeah.
You killed my
and they're
father.
riding bantas.
Prepare to die. My name is Boba Fett. You killed my father.
All right, you ready? Anything else on Kenobi? I'm sure we'll talk more about it when we get to the gallery and all that shit too.
Also, you had some speculation though, or did we already discuss your speculation?
I think so.
Okay.
I think.
At
Maybe
the
I'm forgetting
beginning,
some-
you said you had some stuff to put on toward the end.
Yeah,
Some ideas.
That might be all I had. I don't know.
Okay.
There's probably other stuff floating around in here somewhere. I can't get it out.
I'm sure we'll talk about it again.
We will.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the Maul Bag.
Hello there.
You've got mail.
Obi-Wan! Nothing from Derek this week. So, Derek, just saying, you're slipping, brah.
Sorry, I couldn't get that in.
Cole, you're busy this week, weren't you?
He lost the password to the Derek email.
Shit.
All right. All of a sudden, I get emails from Derek, too. Email number 1 from Brian Auer. Greetings, scoundrels. Things I loved about episode 6. It's part 6, Brian. Just saying.
Ooh.
Get him, man.
Number 1, Yoda level force display of throwing things on both sides. So they were, 2, Beru showing she wears the pants of the family. You go, Mama Bear. Ghost Qui-Gon and Leia spunk with the holster. Careful about putting spunk and a 10-year-old in the same sentence there, Brian.
I think it's pronounced Leia, by the way.
Leia, sorry. I want a Leia series just on her attitude.
I think we just had one.
Kind of. Things that I think could have been better. 1, here you go. The dodging of the ship being pursued as well as the escape shuttle does not follow Star Wars physics law. If I saw running spice, I'd want those ships, but did not follow any other ship's physics. So this is what you were talking about earlier, Jay, as far as people getting mad about the pursuit.
Right.
Where did Reva go? Does she just give up? She run in a bar, becomes a bounty hunter? Ooh, becomes a bounty hunter. Working on the Jedi Underground Railroad. She was defeated, but nothing after that. I think the door is, like I said, wide fucking open.
And they kind of ended it like right with that conversation with them. We don't need to know where she went right now because, one, it's not her series, right? It's not, she was a good villain for this, but like they need to leave it open-ended so someone else can go on and be like, okay, this is what she's doing now, right?
Yeah.
This is what she's. We don't need to know, like, we don't need to catch up 10 years later. Reva, you know, like.
Well, and I mean, if you're following that kind of Return of the Jedi mode, where they were always going back and forth between what Luke was doing and what they were. So this that provided that. Like if Reva's not going after Luke, then there's no action there. There's no drama there where when Ben comes in. So it made sense to have her kind of do that before she figured out, okay, I can't. This is not who I am.
Right.
Okay, Obi-Wan, you had a ship that could get to Alderaan. What did you do with it? Did you lose it to a Toydarian betting on bantha races? Well, I think he's probably just got to get rid of that ship when he comes back because he's laying low still.
Right.
Maybe he tucked it away somewhere.
Fucking Jawas.
Yeah, Jawa's got to.
They own him for life now.
Yeah,
they stripped the rims off of it, took the system out.
Overall, I love the series, but I hope Mike wins the lightsaber. Brian. Good luck on that one. Email number 2 from Slewfoot Fred. Hi, guys. Great Chapter 6. Amazing action. Great lightsaber duel. Who knew Ben had it in him? Well, I think we kind of knew. And I think it wrapped everything up nicely. Few questions.
Beru knew.
Yeah, she knew. She's always known. Few questions / thoughts.
She need to know.
What happens to Reva now? Similar question there. Do you think we'll see her in a future series? Like we discussed before, definitely I could see her showing up in a series. Don't think a series about her necessarily. And I definitely think there should be a book about her. And I bet you we'll see that in the next couple of years.
The Book of Reva.
The Book of Reva.
Revelations.
Nice. There you go. Revelations.
You, sir, are an artiste.
I'm still a bit perplexed as to how Ben ages so rapidly from where this ends in episode 4, but I also really don't care.
I'm glad that he added that, but if I see one more fucking person on the internet have a problem with like the age gap, Jesus Christ, they're still making movies. Be happy they're making them.
We already answered this. It's that fucking job he has, remember?
Yeah.
It's working 40 hours a week. Fucking out in the sun.
No sunscreen. Yeah. It's going to wear you down.
It's the stress.
This series was very enjoyable. Fun to see Ben come full circle from a has-been to a Jedi Master who really hands Vader's ass to him. That has to go down as one of the best lightsaber duels seen in live action. What's the Empire's budget on Vader helmets, I wonder? Endless supply. Clearly they're not that great because they keep getting sliced up, but
He's a harder substance.
He does. Maybe he needs some fucking Beskar on that helmet.
Ooh.
Just saying.
Yeah.
As fans, it's always great to see new content like this. As far as I'm concerned, this series delivered the goods. As always, thanks for this great show, guys. Looking forward to the Bad Batch. Fred. Hey, Fred. We got Andor first, buddy. Bad Batch is second.
Slow your roll.
Slow your roll.
Slow your roll.
Don't just skip over Andor. We're not skipping over Andor here. We're an Andor podcast.
Slew your roll, if you will.
Oh, there you go.
Slewfoot Fred.
The Dad Batch will be back.
Yes. And that's it. Thanks for all the Maul Bag entries. Like I said, you can still send us emails, tell a friend about the show, all that kind of stuff, write a review, and get entries into our Hilt contest. It's going to go on for at least another probably couple weeks.
Get yourself on that Darth Matthews spreadsheet.
Word.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for listening. And until next time,
never tell us the odds.
In our experience, there's no such thing as luck.
We have spoken. Monkey poo.